Look at your hands right now. Just look at them. That skill you spend years building, your ability to write syntax, to translate logic into code, AI has already matched it right now in your terminal without stopping, without sleeping, without getting imposter syndrome. And the internet is telling you exactly what to think about that. It's over. You're replaceable. Start panicking now. They are wrong, and not in a don't worry, be positive way. Wrong in technical, provable, mechanical way, and I'm going to prove it. 13 reasons right now, starting with the one that will completely flip how you think about this tool. So I'm going to give you 13 technical reasons Cloud Code will never replace software engineers, in order, each one more fundamental than the last. And we start with the most counterintuitive thing I will say in this entire video. Think about cameras. Everyone has a smartphone. Did that create many photographers? No, it created a sharper divide between people who understand light, composition, intent, and people who just point and shoot. AI is doing exactly the same thing to software engineering. Using Cloud Code well, genuinely well at the level that makes it a 10x multiplier, requires more technical skill than using it badly. Not less, more. The tool has raised the floor, but it has also raised the ceiling of what you need to know. Look at those two prompts. Same model, same tool. One will most likely produce garbage, and one will produce production-ready code. The only difference is the person writing the brief. And the writing that brief requires knowing exactly what you're building, at the level of precision most developers never need to articulate out loud. This is not prompt engineering, but AI-first approach requires spec development programming. The work didn't disappear, it has shifted. You're no longer writing the code, you're writing the specification from which code is derived in plain language, with a technical precision of an API contract. If you cannot specify the system in complete details, constraints, edge cases, error handling, the AI might fill the gaps with confident, plausible garbage. This is why Cloud Code doesn't replace junior developers, but rather expose them. A junior developer who hasn't built deep technical knowledge cannot write the spec that produces quality output. They will get an average code from a pretty vague prompt, and they won't know it's average until it breaks production at 2 a.m. The engineers who will do well in the age of AI are the ones who can think in complete systems and translate that into precise detailed specification. That is not an entry-level skill, it's the most senior skill in the profession. And here is the brutal irony. The more AI handles execution, the more value of deep technical thinking compounds. The tool did not lower the bar, it has raised it, and it made people above that bar extraordinarily productive. Programming is 20% typing and 80% thinking. It sounds smart, but it's not very accurate. The actual ratio depends entirely on the scale of what you're trying to build, and that scale, it completely destroys that argument. On a simple application, Claude can probably do almost all the work, ship a simple MVP web application in a day. But watch what happens as the scale grows. Enterprise platform, millions of lines of code, dozens of microservices. A change in service A ripples into service B through 3 different layers of shared state that nobody fully documented. At that scale, writing syntax is maybe 5% of the job. And the remaining 95% involves understanding how every part of the system connects, knowing the architectural decisions made 3 years ago by an engineer who has already left the company, handling data inconsistencies during network errors. By default, Claude will not create with that in mind. It has to be instructed. So this is what Claude sees in a typical enterprise codebase. A graph of dependencies it has to infer, approximate, and understand. A senior engineer who has worked in that system for several years will see the same graph and will immediately knows where to make the changes. This is not a pattern matching, but an architecture intuition built over the years of living and building inside that system. Cloud is exceptional at small contained work. Real engineering is everything around it. The bigger the system, the wider that gap gets. Claude can search your entire codebase in seconds, find that file, find that function, faster than any engineer. But fast and correct are not the same thing. Claude finds the right file, makes the change, and instantly breaks 3 things it didn't know were connected. Because the connection isn't in the code, it's in the engineer's head across 3 different systems. Every codebase has its own unwritten rules that you simply have to learn over time. Maybe you should never touch this function without updating the caching layer. Or maybe the service will break if you change the data type. None of it is documented. Engineers had to learn it over the time by interacting with the system. Speed gets you to the wrong answer faster. This is the trap. This is why every Claude output needs a human to review it before it ships. Not to slow things down, but to catch what Claude cannot see and understand. Cloud Code can write 500 lines of functional-looking code in 60 seconds. This is not the difficult part. The hard part is 3 weeks later, 2 a.m., and production is down. And those 500 lines of code are the reason. The debugging trap. Claude generates code that passes your test cases. It looks right, it reads right, but it has an assumption baked in. One that is only wrong under a specific edge case with real production data at scale. When that fires, you need an engineer who can trace it. Claude cannot SSH into your production servers automatically, cannot read live logs, cannot trace back through a cascade of errors to find the root cause. The engineers whose jobs are actually at risk are not losing them to AI, they are losing them to their own dependency on it. They've stopped building debugging skills, and when the production breaks, they cannot fix what they never really understood. Claude Code is a prediction engine, not a truth engine. It generates what is statistically likely to be correct based on the training data. This is not the same as what is actually correct right now. Claude has learned from repositories that are frozen in time. Every library that ships a breaking change after its training cutoff, it's invisible. The code it writes is confident. The confidence is not evidence of correctness. Your job, and this is not optional, is to verify it. It picks the library versions based on what existed when it was trained, not what's available right now. Always checks the version it has chosen. Pin to the latest stable release. Never assume Claude has picked the right one. Claude Code is confident whether it's right or wrong. That's the trap, so you have to be in control. Claude Code can write generic code all day, but it has never worked at your company. It doesn't know your business rules, or your industry edge cases, or even the product decisions that came from 2 years of real customer feedback. It can build you a discount system, but it won't know that VIP customers get a different rate, that discounts cannot stack with seasonal offers, or that EU customers will trigger different tax rules. That knowledge lives in your team, and it has to be properly translated into a prompt. A developer who has been at the company for multiple years will understand everything. Claude needs to be told everything, every time, and even then, it could get something wrong, so it needs human verification. Claude Code lives in the moment. It satisfies the prompt in front. It does not care what your codebase look like in 18 months. You do. That is your job. When nobody's enforcing how the code fits together, each AI prompt will produce an isolated chunk. No shared logic, no consistent structure. 6 months of this and the codebase might work, but it's gonna be unnecessarily large. The next 10 features might cost double, and the set after that even more. Your job is not just to make this feature work today, it's to make the next feature easier to build than this one. AI doesn't really think it that way. It finishes the prompt and stops. Someone has to think past the prompt and consider the system as a whole. Without it, your codebase cannot scale and cannot be maintained, and every hour your team spends untangling the mess, that is money. The money you are paying because nobody enforced the rules when it mattered. Junior developers think in features, senior engineers think in systems. It's a natural progression. A good engineer will eventually make that switch, but AI never does. AI is locked in to the task in front, no awareness of the surroundings. Here is a concrete example. You are asked to add a field to a user profile. Same task, completely different scope of thinking. The gap will close with a better prompt. When a production service goes down at 3 a.m., the engineer is not typing prompts. They're tracing the system, correlating what's changed, understanding how everything connects. AI can write better code than most humans. It can architect database schemas, optimize queries, and write API contracts. However, it has absolutely no idea what it feels like to use everything it has just built. Writing code that works is pretty much a solved problem at this point. Writing code that serves a human, one who's confused, non-technical, in a hurry, having a bad day, on a small screen, requires you to know what that experience feels like from the inside. And currently, the AI doesn't have one. Optimizing for logic and optimizing for humans are two different objectives that frequently conflict. Navigating that conflict requires putting yourself on the other side of the screen. AI doesn't have a screen, it doesn't have a user experience. That empathy is yours and it's irreplaceable. Some sections in technology industry cannot send code to external LLM servers. Not won't, cannot. This is a legal prohibition, not a preference. Banking, healthcare, defense, government contracts, every one of these operates under a compliance framework that makes sending proprietary code to an external AI server a potential criminal liability, with audits, fines, and prison sentences behind it. These are not niche industries. These are some of the largest employees of software engineers on the planet. In these environments, the engineer does not only just write the code, they decide what AI can touch, what it cannot, and they take full responsibility for every decision either way. The AI works for them not the other way round. Some industries keep AI out by law, others keep it by choice, because when something ships and fails, someone needs to own it. When code fails in production and causes real damage, someone is legally responsible, and that someone cannot be an AI. A bank can lose millions during transaction because of the bug. A hospital system fails at a very critical moment. Regulators don't call the AI, they call the release manager who has signed it off. Someone has to own it. That someone has a job title, a salary, and a legal obligation. This image of a lone developer in a dark room with headphones on untouchable, it was always a myth. Modern software is built by a network of humans with conflicting priorities, competing deadlines, and different definitions of done. Product synchronization, design reviews, mentoring junior developers, managing stakeholder expectations when feature slips. A senior engineer spends more time in meetings than in a terminal. Quite frankly, engineering is as much about people as it is about code. Resolving a conflict between product and engineering before it kills the sprint, keeping a junior developer on track after their first bad incident, holding a deadline together when 3 dependencies slip at once. Every major tool upgrade in history of engineering has followed the same pattern. Assembly language gave way to compilers. Manual documentation searching gave way to Stack Overflow. Handwritten SQL gave way to Object Relational Mapping. jQuery gave way to React. Every single time developer panicked. And every single time the same thing has happened. Every tool upgrade eliminated the mechanical bottom layer of the work. Not the judgment, not the architecture, not the systems, the typing, the boilerplate, the repetitive execution. And every time engineers moved up and not out. Claude Code is doing the same thing right now. In real time, it's eliminating the manual typing of loops, CRUD operations, boilerplate. The mechanical layer was always the least interesting part of engineering. You are becoming a conductor. You set the architecture, you write the specification, you direct the agents, you verify the output, you own the system. The autopilot did not replace the pilot, it gave them the capacity to focus on what actually matters. Right now, there are 2 types of engineers: vibe coders who prompt and ship without understanding what they're shipping, and experienced engineers who use AI as leverage while staying in complete control. A typical vibe coder prompts Claude, accept the output, ships it, no real review, no proper understanding, and when it breaks, they pass the error back to the AI and hope it fixes itself. And on the small projects, it often does, but as the system grows, that loop breaks down. The AI loses context, the fixes create new bugs, and there is nobody in the room who actually understands what is running in production. An active conductor uses Claude as leverage, but they own the architecture, they write the specs, they understand every single line that gets merged. They compound the tool capability with their own deep knowledge. They produce in 10 times the output of anyone around them. AI can read thousands of lines of code, surface patterns, and generate solutions in almost seconds. What it cannot do is know which solution is right for your system, your team, and your users. That judgment is yours. The engineers who thrive are the ones who let AI handle the volume and apply their own critical thinking to the decisions that actually matter. Claude Code is not the end of software engineering, it's the next step on the staircase. The question has never been whether AI will change the job. It already has. The question is, what kind of engineer will you be now that the mechanical layer is handled? The answer to that question is yours. 13 reasons and 1 conclusion. You were never the most replaceable part of this equation. You were always the most important variable. 13. Spec development programming. 12. Complexity at scale. 11. Speed without context. 10. Production debugging. 9. Hallucinations. 8. Business domain knowledge. 7. Tech depth. 6. System thinking. 5. UX empathy. 4. Privacy compliance. 3. Legal accountability. 2. The human network. 1. The conductor shift. Every single one of those is a skill that compounds with time. None of them can be fully automated. All of them get faster, sharper, and more valuable when you are the conductor and AI is the instrument. If this changed how you think about AI and engineering, subscribe.